So secret number one is timing. So let's start with this secret of timing. I would say that over 98% of all athletes have no clue how to define, practice, and perform timing. It isn't their fault because these new discoveries have only been developed in recent years, and even the top gurus and slash experts don't know about it. Timing is one of the most important ingredients in achieving peak performance in any sport because without it, you'll be doomed to fail. Did you ever hear some or even all of the following comments from coaches and athletes? For example, they'll say things like, "We just didn't have it tonight," or in that practice or game. "We just couldn't put it together at the right time. The other team got the jump on us." They might say things like, we're only able to play catch up for the rest of the game. They were off in that game or performance." They'd say things like, "We just couldn't get things going." And the list goes on and on and on. Timing is what they're all talking about and don't know how to explain it. They have these little comments and cliches and try to explain what they're going through, but they just can't fully explain the situation or problem in their sport. So when athletes are experiencing some of these above problems, they tend to go back and do the following. They train harder, they practice more, and hopefully things will work themselves out within time. My question is this: how much training will it take to solve the problems in which they know nothing about solving? How much practice will it take? And how much time is needed to overcome these timing problems? Did you know that when athletes use timing, they'll be able to learn techniques faster, train less, use less energy, perform better, and attain the zone or flow more often? Perform on a consistent level and be able to achieve peak performance. Coaches and instructors always preach to their athletes to have good timing, which is to perform your movements and techniques at the right time and or place or sequence. Let me give you my definition of timing. Timing is the internal communication between the mind and body, which enables the execution of movements and techniques at the proper sequence of time. Now, let me say this again. Timing is the internal communication between the mind and body, which enables the execution of movements and techniques at the proper time and sequence. Look at an orchestra that has all different instruments and they end up making beautiful music because they've been trained to read their sheet music. This is accomplished by the individual musicians following and reading the piece of music. It tells them to play a certain note or combinations of notes for a specific period of time, either a full beat, half beat, etc. All of the musicians follow their written music perfectly. If they do that, they'll perform in perfect timing. You can take a stopwatch and time the piece of music and it will end up in the exact same time even though they perform it once or 1,000 times. See, each musical note is made up of a certain length of time. And when the musicians read this certain note, they know exactly what note to play and for how long. In comparisons to athletes, they don't know anything else but to perform their movements and technique at a fast speed. The only time athletes will perform their movements at slow speed is in the beginning or novice level. Then they jump right into the fast speed mode as fast as possible. You need to have a system where you can control the exact speed, slow, medium, or fast, of any movement and technique. This is exactly what a musician does in playing his or her instrument by following the piece of music. If the music is fast, then they go at fast speed. When the music is slow and uses different speeds, then they'll be able to adjust the speed of the notes according to match the written music that they're reading. We've invented a system that teaches athletes how to read their own music notes through an internal system that is similar to a thermostat or a cruise control. Let me explain to you about what I mean by cruise control aspect of timing. When you're driving your car, if you want to drive 60 miles per hour on the highway, for example, you just have to set your cruise control and you don't have to worry about going over the speed limit because the cruise control will automatically adjust your speed at 60 miles per hour. Now you can enjoy your trip, right? Same thing for athletes. If they knew where their internal cruise control was located and how to set it, they would just have to enjoy the trip. They wouldn't have to worry about how much speed they have or how to increase the speed to whatever level they want. Same thing for a thermostat in your home. If you want to have the heat in your home at, let's say, 65 degrees, then you just have to set the thermostat at 65 and you won't have to worry about it because the thermostat will automatically regulate the heat to 65 degrees. Same thing for athletes. Once they know how to regulate their own internal thermostat, it will enable them to control their timing, their speed, rhythm, reflex, and overall performance automatically to the level that they want. Athletes train hard, learn the basics and practice, but with one difference, which is remember when you're in the zone and everything is flowing properly. In this situation, you're experiencing perfect timing. At that point, your timing is on and everything that you do seems to work out automatically in your sport. Now, when your timing is off, it doesn't matter what you do or try because it seems that you'll fail in the majority of the areas in your sport. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever miss a perfect, did you ever make a perfect shot, for example, movement or technique or performance in your sport? Of course you have. And when this happens, you're experiencing perfect timing in your sport. This is probably because your internal mind and body communications are working as one. This is what allows you to perform at peak levels. Every athlete, they all want this level and they are searching for anything that can allow them to experience a more consistent level. Now, haven't you also had days when almost everything that you practice or do in your sport is off? And you can't seem to get those things in the proper way or sequence. On those days, then your timing is off. And it doesn't matter how much you train your sport, you won't solve this problem unless you know where to look and how to overcome it. If you could imagine like a cable going through your going from your mind to your body, and if you had an electrical short in the cable, then this would prevent the information or commands from reaching your body or reaching the printer in your body. This electrical short happens in a split second and it could be as long as 1 to 10 seconds in length. And when this happens, this is the cause for timing to be off. The days when there isn't any electrical short in the cable, your communication will flow back and forth from the mind and body at hyperspeed. So at this point, you will experience perfect timing in whatever area of training or performance that you do in your sport. Let me prove to you how this works by giving you a few examples to illustrate what I mean. Did you ever play pool and have the feeling or know in advance that just before your shot, you knew that you were going to make that shot? Did you ever go to a practice or tournament or a competition and know in advance that you were going to do well? We've all had these feelings of going, you were going to perform well or not. It's almost like ESP, in advance. Let me explain what happens inside of us when this happens. In the above example of playing pool, when your mind assessed the shot, like measured the angles and the whole process, then it made an instant plan that was sent to your body to follow the instructions. In a